Let's talk about this first story because this is major breaking news. We had this from Axios. Emergency declaration issued in 17 states and D.C. over fuel pipeline cyber attack. So the Department of Transportation's Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration issued a regional emergency declaration for 17 states and Washington, D.C. to keep fuel supply lines open. Colonial Pipeline carries 45% of fuel supplies in the eastern U.S. Some 5,500 miles of pipeline has been shut down in response to the attack. So if you're not familiar with the story, this is a ransomware attack. Basically hit one of the systems at Colonial. I don't know if it actually hit the industrial control systems, but their computers, which basically means they're administrative computers. These hackers have said, unless you give us money, we're going to encrypt your machines. You'll never be able to use them. They shut down in response to this. It's typical of what happens to companies when they do get hit by this, but this is a major attack on our critical infrastructure. Now, the funny thing about this, I think, is that the hackers have apologized. Have you guys saw this?
Yeah, they apologized. They said, my bad. We won't take the money. It was
Did
bad.
they release it?
Error of judgment on our part. Start shipping that oil again. Reopen the East Coast. Sorry.
Well, so the people who made the ransomware, I guess, said that we'll have to vet our clients and implement moderation policies.
Definitely. That's a good recommendation.
There's some standards in these hacking communities.
Yeah, these hacking communities have got to get some standards.
How do they have more standards than like the Fed?
Well, it's like when I was living in Harlem, they used to say, uptown, there are no cops because, you are the law. The law, you have to be honest because there's no cops. Right, so in the hacker community, there's no cops, so you have to be honest. There has to be standards.
So I guess basically this hacker group, what are they called? They're called DarkSide. FBI names DarkSide as the Colonial Pipeline cyber attacker. I guess they sold the ransomware to someone, who then used it and ended up getting a pipeline, shut down.
Yeah.
If you're one of these hackers, you don't want the pipeline shut down. You want to use your money for stuff. Mm-hmm. So what's the point of getting the money if there's no oil? What are you going to do? Go buy a farm, I guess.
Well, it brings up, a couple of points. The infrastructure in the United States is weak and getting weaker, and it's a huge problem, and there's very little funds to take care of it. And also you have the ransomware, and the inability to deal with that is kind of a secondary problem. But primarily the roads, bridges, tunnels, infrastructure, pipelines, oil pipelines, these things have gone neglected for decades. And now they're starting to fall apart, and the federal budget doesn't have any budget to repair these things. The country is already broke. So and their solution, Tim, is always the same: print money.
Is that real money? This is not real money. Why you can
None
spray,
of it.
You want to spray real money? You can spray real money.
Well, you told me I shouldn't rip up real money.
Don't rip up money.
Don't rip.
I was ready to shred another $20,000 right here on the Timcast. And you're like, no, don't do it. I'm like, listen, I'm Max Keiser. I rip up money. That's what I do. And Tim's like, no, don't do it. So I got to use the fake money. But this is all they can do. They say, oh, the bridge broke, let's print money. Oh, the pipeline's broke, let's print money. Oh, we need more roads and bridges, let's print money. Oh, there's not enough minimum wage jobs, let's print more money. That's all they know how to do. They don't know how to do anything else. That's the entire policy of every freaking politician in America. That's it.
How much did they print last year?
True.
Like $58 trillion.
$58 trillion?
No. They increased the money supply by 25%. So
it was like $3 trillion or something.
It goes from yelling to Stacy's calm.
Yeah.
They're just adding more zeros. There's no cost to it.
It's like remember when Zimbabwe where they had like the $1 billion bill or whatever?
$1 trillion.
$1 trillion.
Yeah.
I like also that over the past since 2008 they keep on pretending like that they're all meeting together, all these academics and economists, and they're going to come up with a new plan. And it's all the same. It's the same exact money printing, and they call it a new thing. Right. And they're like, now we're going to try this.
Let's go back to the gas pipeline real quick. You mentioned
let's go to the Wayback Machine.
The Wayback Machine. Infrastructure's crumbling. Think about computers 20 years ago or whatever when they built the industrial control systems for these pipelines.
Yeah.
And that's the level of technology many hackers need to overcome. And it's like 80s computer technology.
They use what's that operating system from the 80s and the 70s?
Unix?
Oh no, COBOL.
Cobalt. What?
They use COBOL.
Our entire banking infrastructure is on
banking
COBOL.
infrastructure.
Weird.
And there's only like 3 guys who know how to program it. And
Wow.
work it. And those guys are, paid a lot of money. But
Yes.
Maybe. Well, hold on. Security through obscurity.
Yep.
Yes,
That's the
yes,
idea.
yes.
Yep.
They
Like-
actually say that. Yeah.
I know, yeah, it's a common phrase. So what happens is it's so archaic.
Yep.
It may actually be easy to hack, but you're going to get some like 18-year-old hacker in Russia being like, I have no idea what this is.
What is this language? But there are only like a handful of guys who still know how to use it.
Right.
And
Wow.
Speaking of like people being like, please work for us, please. Like they're in
Yeah.
retirement. They're in their 70s and they're like, we just want to be retired. And they're
Yeah,
like,
we need you to
yeah,
come
but
in."
our whole banking infrastructure is about to collapse. Come fix it.
It's crazy to me that you had people, they built up this system and then basically shrugged and walked away from it. And it's falling apart.
Yeah. Well, they're cheap. They don't
Well-
want to spend the money. It's like,
But as Max will also point out,
Yeah.
the whole derivatives, the complexity in the financial system now is just so huge that by the time like more advanced stuff came around, they just didn't know how to unwind any of it. Like it's all trapped in this old system.
yeah,
that they
plain
don't know how to.
spaghetti
So wait.
Yeah.
on the derivatives.
Yeah.
I talk a bit about this watching all of the different stuff that's been happening over the past few years. Police departments, cops are quitting like crazy.
Yeah.
The riots are getting more emboldened. And I say things like it feels like things are collapsing. They're falling apart. There's a rot inside the core.
It is, yeah.
But you guys have been talking about that for way longer than I've been around. And
Yeah.
so you've been watching this spread. I mean, especially from financial markets, particularly.
Yeah, because the markets are rotten, and the money that we use is rotten. The U.S. dollar is rotten. Fiat money is rotten. Goes back to the 1971 when Nixon took us out of the gold standard, essentially. And the world started on a very bold experiment. Every country in the world had fiat money. That is, it's not backed by gold or anything. And so it became referential to other fiat money. So the dollar is valued against the euro, which is backed by nothing, backed by the yen, backed by the Chinese yuan. It's a circle jerk that goes around and around and around.
I think it's backed by a bunch of people with guns telling you it's worth something
That's
or
what
else.
Paul Krugman says at the New York Times. He says that the reason the dollar has value is that it's backed by men with guns. And that's true. It is.
Yeah.
That's why we say fiat money is violence. It promotes
Yeah.
violence. It is violence, and it is promotes war. The petrodollar certainly is part of the U.S. dollar matrix, and that is all about war and the cartel and everything that goes on in the Middle East, and it's all dollar related.
But if they can just print out money
Yes.
as easily as I can pull this trigger and
Yes.
fire off some, why can't they just fix our infrastructure with it?
Because they give it to banks, and the banks buy chateaus and property on Park Avenue, and Jamie Dimon is a billionaire.
They
So
also have
Occupy Wall Street?
Yeah.
They have a problem, and that is that the U.S. dollar is reserve currency. They have to send it overseas. You can't control the world. You can't have dollar hegemony. You can't have American hegemony without sending those dollars overseas. So they don't spend it here because that would cause inflation, and they don't want inflation. So they send it to China. They
Interesting.
send it to Europe. They send it to the Middle East, and that is supposed to sustain this hegemonic system. If they stop sending it overseas, if they were to start building factories and employing people across Michigan and Iowa and Idaho and places like that, then the dollar would no longer be the reserve
Right,
currency.
the trade deficit. So dig into it. I mean, go into the
Dig it.
dig into it some more. I mean, this is really fascinating stuff. This is the nettle of it.
This is the Triffin dilemma,
They
as
call
they
the
call
Triffin
it.
dilemma.
You have
Continue. What's going on?
Yeah.
What is
Well, the
this?
Triffin dilemma is something that was warned about when we did Bretton Woods back in 1944. And Triffin had warned that the problem with having a reserve currency is that the geopolitics versus your domestic economics, they get into conflict. And that's the point we're at now. We hit it first in 1971 because as the reserve currency country, we had to send all our dollars overseas, right? And that was backed by gold. So what you're doing is you're sending your gold overseas.
Right.
And when France sent their warship into the harbor of New York to come collect their gold, they got their gold. England asked for their gold. They didn't get their gold. We shut the gold window. But since 1971, what's the next step of the Triffin dilemma? You send your manufacturing, you hollow out your manufacturing base. And that's what we've done. We're at that end point. That's why you're seeing this disintegration. You know, it's just the entropy of the system. It's the entropy of the American empire, of the dollar system.
Wow.
Things disintegrate.
Happening faster and faster.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Do you guys know about the fourth turning?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, we had who was it? Was it Ben Norton?
Ben Stewart.
Ben Stewart. Who's Ben Norton?
I don't know. Cool name though.
Yeah,
Ben
cool
Norton's
name.
that left-wing guy who works with Max
Oh,
Blumenthal.
that's
Yeah.
right. That's right. That's
Oh,
right. Well,
okay.
shout out Ben. But wait, no, we had Ben Stewart. He was talking about the book and a lot of the stuff that he was studying. And yeah, I guess the theory, whether it's true or not, a lot of people say it's bunk. It's just nonsense. But
No, it's good.
2020,
We've covered
2028.
it. Well, they wrote about it in the 1980s, and they said it would be 2025 would be the year to look for. They said
So-
back then.
Yeah.
So earlier, I showed you guys. We're just gonna release the secret live on the air.
Do it.
That there is a secret room in this building that no one knows about, and in it was food and
Oh, yeah.
beans and bullets and
Yeah, yeah.
so good idea, huh?
Yeah.
real
It
good
was.
idea.
It's good. I want one. I want to live
Yeah.
there. Can you rent it? That could be like an Airbnb.
Absolutely.
Well, so we had a
Definitely.
tornado warning recently, like legit, and like the mail lady came up and she's like, "Get inside now!" They just called it in. It's like there's a funnel cloud. It's coming right this way.
Yeah.
And so we go. It's underground. It's like this underground thing.
No
You know,
windows.
no windows.
Yes.
It's literally
Just edible gummy
underground.
bears. That's
Yep.
it.
That's all. That's all it's in there. Is
Edibles and
yeah,
and,
because the idea is if you're gonna die,
that's
you
it.
want to just feel good on the
Yeah,
way.
That's
out.
right.
yeah.
No, no,
that's it.
it's literally a storage room. We have like,
Right.
you know, I don't know. Ian bought like 20 gallons of vinegar for some
And
reason.
I'm not done yet.
But I don't want to get into too much into that. But
Ian's got a
but
vinegar finish.
you guys are
honey,
saying, you know,
salt.
in the context of war and
Yeah.
the fourth turning, are you guys familiar with Thucydides' trap?
Yes,
Yeah,
we
we
are.
talk about. We have an episode of our show called "When Fourth Turning Meets Thucydides' Trap."
Oh wow!
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
Yeah.
That's not happened before, has it?
No.
Yeah. Well, maybe the two of them happening together. Probably it's happened 18 times. The Thucydides' trap.
Right.
16 have ended violently.
For those that aren't familiar, it's basically, and correct me if I'm wrong, that when a rising economic power is about to overtake the dominant power, war
Yeah.
breaks out.
Yes, and that happened in the past few years. And you notice all the propaganda against China. Sure, China is a different system than our own, and there are many problems with it, obviously. But we really started becoming very hostile to them once they overtook us and 5G, artificial intelligence, all the high-tech stuff, which remember Joe Biden had mentioned back in 2000 when he was encouraging Congress to vote to elevate them to the WTO on favored nation status. He was like, China's going to eat our lunch. Come on, man. It's not going to happen.
No way.
That's what
So,
he's...
but it seems like Biden and many billionaires and big corporations are totally deferential to China, if not absolutely supporting China.
Yeah, they don't care. They'll go where the money is, right?
Exactly.
So Hollywood edits, in
Yep.
to favor Chinese government and things like that. I think the Top Gun in China, Tom Cruise is actually Chinese in the release in China.
Really?
No.
No.
Well, but I would be
Yeah.
surprised if they said he was.
Well, they did change a lot of iconography
Because
and a lot of the things.
they would change like the storyline, but they got rid of the Tibet campaign or whatever from
Taiwan, yeah.
Taiwan. That's what it was. Yeah,
Right,
Taiwan.
Right. So.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't be surprised if they did something like that. In that one movie, I can't remember what it was. They added the lines over the South China Sea.
Yeah, animated movie.
Yeah, so it's like a little girl walks past a world
Right.
map, and it's China, and the lines for the South China Sea are lines.
Well, that's the Thucydides trap. So the China drives the global economy, and they're going to drive the cultural agenda as well. So
The thing
So
that
you
really,
guys-
the thing that changed, the thing that put us on the path towards a violent conflict was 2014, the Belt and Road Initiative. So
Yes.
what always happens is, as I was mentioning, when you have the world's reserve currency, you have to send your dollars overseas. Otherwise, because they can't print dollars, so you have to get it
Right.
to circulate. So we were sending Saudi Arabia, Europe, they kept recycling it back into treasuries. Well, that's what China did until 2014. Then they started taking their dollars and lending it to Africa, lending it across Asia, to other nations, and building infrastructure and ports and stuff like that.
off U.S. citizens.
Yeah,
Yes.
and America was like, wait, this is cheating. It's not cheating, really, but it's we're going to say it's cheating.
When we loan money to China, are we borrowing it from the Federal Reserve and then we owe the interest to the Federal Reserve and then loan it out? Or does the money get loaned to the Chinese and they owe the interest to the Federal Reserve?
Well, we owe them. We have a trade deficit with them, so you have to run massive trade deficits, right? When you have the reserve currency, So that's the lie that nobody will tell the American people. You know, Trump came close to it when he was like, make America great again. But the point is, you have to tell people, like, we either have the reserve currency or we have a domestic economy. Which do you want?
And when you say we run a deficit, what is that exactly? What does that mean?
So China sends us, say, $500 billion, say for ease, say $1 trillion worth of goods, and we only send them $200 billion worth of goods. So they send us $800 billion more. We send them $800 billion more than we sell to them.
They're getting more from us than we're getting back. Is that what it is?
Yeah, they're selling us their goods.
Yeah.
And we sell them less and less.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. If you want to see the full show, come back to this channel, youtube.com/TimcastIRL, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., where you can leave comments and super chat, and we actually will read your comments on the show. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and if you want exclusive members-only content, segments you can't get anywhere else, go to timcast.com, become a member, and we even have full bonus episodes. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.